trying to do our show, and if they were, they're gone.
Right.
Maybe back when other people were running things, that was the case, but that's not the way things are now. And you almost never hear of anything coming out of a OVW locker room that we don't want out. People know better.
Right.
It's the wrestling business. It's not your business. It's our business. And it just kind of hurts me to see what has happened to the bigger companies, is that they just can't watch their ship anymore, it seems.
Yeah, it really didn't stick out.
And that's due to too many people who have no business being a part of the company to begin with.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't stand out. Like, WrestleMania, the Pete Rose moments, and
were those the greatest things in the world,
awesome.
or what? When Pete come out in the chicken suit?
3 years in a row, gets chokeslammed by Kane.
Pete running with Kane. Those are the greatest things in the world.
No, absolutely. Now it's a glorified Raw, really. I mean,
but yeah, it's basically a glorified Raw. You couldn't have worded it better. I was really taken back by how great the Undertaker Shawn Michaels match was, because according to who you believe, the ages of those men are 47 and 43 respectively. I think that's a little high on Taker. I don't think he's that old, but I think they were actually 44 and 41, I believe, but someone else reported 47. But to think that a couple of the oldest men in the company put on the best show, and then the second best show was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against Chris Jericho.
I was just going to mention that. That was probably the shocker of the night, was Steamboat put on an amazing performance.
Well, I tell you what, didn't look like he'd been out of the ring. And then there was a lot of disappointment, of course, from everybody as the Triple H Randy Orton match. That was the main event. That was what you're supposed to send everybody oohing and wowing about, and for whatever reason, it just didn't happen. And like you said, once again, I've seen Raws to where they entertained me 10 times more.
Yeah.
So as to where the fault goes there, I haven't, I guess that's up to those two men to put out. But I was a little disappointed as we didn't get more. We all had scenarios in our head as to what could have happened that would have made it one of the greatest WrestleManias ever. But none of those scenarios happened.
Yeah, you're always looking for a swerve, or even with having Kid Rock perform and have the tag team match go as a dark match. When I heard the tag team match was pretty unbelievable. And
well, that was another thing I was upset about. It is called WrestleMania. As much as they tried to deny that they're wrestling, they like to call it sports entertainment, and they're not wrestlers, they're entertainers, they're this and that. They'd rather die than use the word wrestling.
Yeah.
But for their biggest show of the year, what do they call it? WrestleMania. They can't avoid it. They've already named it that. I guess they're stuck with it. It ain't Entertainment Mania. It ain't Entertainer Mania.
Yeah.
It's WrestleMania. Well, what do we have during WrestleMania? A half hour of Kid Rock bumping other wrestlers off the show that, by the way, from what I understand, do not get a WrestleMania payday.
Wow.
And I know this, needless to say, from a good fact, I've managed 39 of the guys that have gone there. I've made millionaires out of 39 people, but unfortunately, for people that I've managed, and I had some that I managed that did not make this WrestleMania because they wrestled the so-called dark match. So they were there. They were prepared to go. They were ready to be a part of WrestleMania. But instead, they had to make room for a half hour of Kid Rock, who sang a bunch of songs that I heard 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, and the crowd was pretty quiet,
and one new one that is a remix of a song I heard 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So I like Kid Rock. He's a nice guy. He's called my home before. He's talked to my son when my son was supposed to meet him in person. That wasn't able to happen. Kid Rock took the time to call my son, and which I greatly appreciated. But I don't want to see him on my WrestleMania show. I'll go to his concert if I want to see Kid Rock. I'll pick up a DVD. I'll tune into my local radio station here.
Yeah.
But all he did was bump probably about 10 guys out of a big payday. And that wasn't his fault. He performed where he was told to.
Sure.
But would it have not made more sense to have him perform from 6:30 to 7 as a warm-up to the show, and then actually have wrestling on WrestleMania?
You would think. Who knows what Vince is thinking nowadays?
It makes me sound like the smartest guy in the world, don't it? But I'm not. You don't have to be too damn smart to know to put wrestlers on your wrestling show.
Yeah, well,
and if you don't want to call it wrestling, then change the name of WrestleMania. But you're stuck with it. It is what it is.
Yeah, Vince is trying to go, I've noticed recently, the last year or so, trying to go with the family-friendly formula, which, for years he had gone the extreme route. And that's when his ratings got huge. And now he's cutting back on everything. Like, now he's going music and niceness.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, it gets kind of bland after a while.
You could probably pick up Kid Rock to perform for about $150,000 these days. I don't know, but... and then they want to pay this little midget boxer that came in here a few years ago. What did they want to pay him? $3 million?
Oh, something insane to fight the Big Show. Yeah,
$3 million. And you got your wrestlers who bust their ass for you all year long, do that ungodly travel schedule that I would never do, put up with the nonsense that I would never put up with, being talked to like a dog, being treated like a part of a circus. And being told to fly coach everywhere you go. And so they do that for you all year. They're loyal enough. My hat's off to them. I could never do it.
Yeah, it's rough.
I'm not a trained monkey. I can't be treated that way and expect to perform at the best of my ability. They would lose me in 2 weeks. But they do this for you, and then you reward somebody who's not even in your profession because you think they're going to bring ratings to you, which were minuscule at best. You bring in a midget boxer and have him beat the biggest athlete in the world. Yeah, it's a damn good idea.
Yeah.
And if that's Vince's idea, then Vince, you fucked up. You fucked up if that was your idea. And I guess it was because it aired on your show.
Yeah.
So these are just my opinions. I don't have to worry about Vince getting pissed at me and not hiring me because I'm not for hire. And plus, I'm fat and 50 years old anyway. I've got no business on his show. Unless you got big tits and prove you don't know anything, I got no business being there to begin with.
Yeah, well, he definitely signs off on this stuff, so he's got to be in that process somewhere. And I don't know where his head is.
When I have a toothache, I'm an irritating old bastard, ain't I? Shit, old Callie might have missed me on a good day today.
Oh, great. Lucky for me.
Yeah, lucky for you. But then again, people need to hear the truth, because people sometimes... I think they sit at home and they just get oblivious to it.
Yeah.
Of the things they see in the thing. I'm very proud of what Ohio Valley Wrestling's doing these days. You can tune into our show. We're a 2-hour show now, Saturday nights at 11 o'clock on the CW Network. If you're in our sports region, to pick that up, Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, right around that tri-state area there. You actually see wrestling on our show. We've eliminated these backstage vignettes. Almost to a nil. You almost see none of those anymore. You don't get too many replays of what happened last week. A few. But you know what? Watch every week, and then you don't have to wonder what we did last week.
Exactly.
Everybody, where's your recap packages? What'd you do? Well, you know what? Watch. In this day and age of videotape and DVRs and podcasts and everything that's out there, if you don't know what we did last week, then you must not have gave a shit.
Nah.
So tune in and see what we did.
It's the meat and potatoes.
Baseball games don't always show highlights of what happened last week, or football or whatever. If there was a great play or something, yeah, okay. Well, if we have a great maneuver, we'll replay it.
Right. Very cool. Yeah, and the wrestling is awesome, and track record speaks for itself. All the guys that have gone up to WWE and done extremely well.
Not only did I send 39, but the company itself, I think, has sent a total of 122.
That's amazing.
39, which I managed and trained. And we've been in business aligned with WWE, I think, almost for 10 years. And as a company here in the Louisville area for the last 15 years. And on television for the last 13 years. So, yeah, I think that track record speaks for itself. Absolutely. We just did our 609th show the other day, counting our half-hour shows that we started out doing. So you tell me who's produced 609 television shows on network TV. Right. Short of Gunsmoke and a couple others. There's not many. I said network. I didn't say cable. Right. We've been on network television that long. A little easier to stay on cable than it is network. Cable's begging for programming.
Right.
There's 1,000 stations anymore.
Yeah, otherwise they put on those infomercials all night long.
Well, exactly. And and the highest dollar gets on the air.
Right.
When it comes to those infomercials, but